My recap and review of Monday Night Raw. And yes, I did get a haircut about a week ago. I'm kind of subconscious about that, which is why I wear a hat. I didn't think it was that bad when I first got the haircut, but by the end of the day, I felt like, well, honestly, I felt like I looked like a fat lesbian. But let's just get into the video. My recap and review of Monday Night Raw. Overall, I give the show a 3 out of 5, 7 out of 10. A solid C+, as I thought it was a pretty alright show. Now getting into my recap. To start, the usual showcase of talent for the night, as this show is taking place in Birmingham, England. Basically, to summarize this whole segment, Roman Reigns talked about how Seth and Paul took everything from him, as he's left with nothing. No wise man, no bloodline, no nothing. As he feels like he's not the same guy, as the crowd tries to remind him that he still is that same dude that he used to be. But he says he still could be. But that Cody Rhodes predicted it a year and a half ago. He is so proud of Jey Uso and what he's been doing on his own, but plans on making things right and to eventually make it back to the top. Paul Heyman interrupts, saying that Bronson Reed reminded him that 5 years ago this week, Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns teamed up, creating the bloodline and changing the game forever. But now look at him, lonely and sad and pathetic, as he says he came out to disrespect Roman Reigns, but not out of malice. But he's not going to do shit, as he's too much of a pussy to do so. But Bronson Reed will. Bronson tells Roman that he's Samoan, but they exiled him to Australia, as unlike Roman Reigns' tribe, his tribe was too unstable to stick around, as he is a Samoan Roman Reigns' dad and uncle warned him about. Roman urges him to get his ass into the ring, as he wants him to give him his shoes back and apologize to his people, the crowd, for wasting their time, for wasting everyone's time. Bronson refused to do so, so Roman Reigns said if he won't come down to the ring, then he'll pretty much just have to bring the fight to him, as they then brawl until security breaks it up, or until we go to commercial break. Yes, believe it or not, WWE Raw on Netflix has commercial breaks. I don't know, TKO. Back from commercial break, Judgment Day are walking around looking for Dominic Mysterio backstage, as he is once again talking to El Grande Americano. As they seem to be scheming, Finn Balor is suspicious, but Dom tells him to not worry about it, as he and JD McDonough keep it pushing. Then we had a match, Dragon Lee versus JD McDonough. Dragon Lee wins. Dominic Mysterio interfered in this match, but AJ Styles neutralized him. It took him into the crowd to brawl, as Dragon Lee won by pinfall, as he hit his finishing move, Operation Dragon. LA Knight is then interviewed backstage. He says when he thinks of what happened last week, as he was accidentally knocked into the table last week by CM Punk. He wonders if CM Punk didn't do it on purpose, as CM Punk didn't lift a finger and he walked off without helping him, but he did look concerned, just saying. He understands why Punk is doing what he's doing. He's a hungry man, but at Clash in Paris, it's feast or famine, as the rations are limited. But tonight he is going to smack Braun Breaker back into factory settings. Woof woof. Pretty much mocking Braun Breaker is what I'm trying to say, alright? Penta then makes his entrance to send us to break. Back from commercial break, we get a video package from Rusev, where he talks about how he's going to hurt whoever the hell he wants to hurt from now on. And right now he wants to hurt Sheamus. Backstage, Judgment Day argue amongst themselves about how JD McDonough's match went south, and Raquel Rodriguez calms everyone down by saying Liv Morgan wouldn't want them bickering like this. Dominic Mysterio then sends Finn Balor out to take care of AJ Styles tonight. Finn basically says fine, he'll go talk to Adam Pearce about a match. Raquel then turned to Roxanne Perez to give her a pep talk before her match tonight. Then we have another match, Kofi Kingston versus Penta. Kofi Kingston wins, as late in the match, Grayson Waller distracted Penta, so Kofi Kingston could take advantage and hit him with the Trouble in Paradise, his finishing move, to pick up the pinfall victory. Then we get some footage for WWE Unreal, now on Netflix. No, I am not sponsored by them, although I wish I was. Followed by a recap of the backstage segment between Io, Rhea, and the Kabuki Warriors last week, where Asuka and Rhea would argue and Io ended up storming off. Backstage, Rhea is stretching for you gooners out there, as Io Sky walks in. She's grateful to Rhea for helping her out, but Asuka and Kairi Sane are her family, and they're upset, so she thinks for now that they should maintain their distance. Ripley says she understands, and Io thanks her and embraces her, as the Kabuki Warriors arrive in the background and see this going on. Reminder that WrestlePalooza is next month, September 12th, as we then get a video package recapping Naomi's pregnancy announcement and her having to relinquish her title. But where does this leave Stephanie? We find out as Stephanie Valkyrie speaking with Adam Pearce backstage. He assures her that she's still the #1 contender, but that a match would not be taking place at Clash in Paris. He has an opponent in mind, but he just needs some time to finalize the details. As she's disappointed she won't be in Clash in Paris. I think we all are, or a lot of us are. Or at least I am. As she would try explaining to the best of her abilities, as English isn't her first language. But you can say that about a lot of people. And that's okay because America is a melting pot. Becky Lynch then makes her entrance as, basically to sum this whole segment up, Becky Lynch came out to beat Nikki Bella to the punch as Nikki Bella was going to call her out. Then she disrespected the crowd like she usually does, and called out the fact that Nikki Bella was going to call her out, like I said, as she's not some loser or dog who's just going to respond to a whistle, as Nikki Bella interrupted, asking her if she's not a female dog, then why is she acting like a bitch? As these two get into a promo battle, and then Becky Lynch goes for the cheap shot, but Nikki Bella blocks it, and they finally exchange finishing moves until Becky Lynch finally scurries away. CM Punk is interviewed backstage. He says he knows what's on the line, and obviously that it's every man for himself in the Fatal 4-Way match at Clash in Paris. But he wanted everybody to get on the same page to be able to go into the match with everybody intact, all in one piece. But LA Knight didn't want to hear it. Jay wanted to go his own way, and Seth is the problem. And no, he didn't care that LA Knight fell through the table like a clumsy idiot. But the reason he's obsessed with winning the title is because it was ripped out of his hands by Seth. And Jay, LA, and Seth should all know that if he has to cripple each of them, he will, and he will paint his masterpiece with their blood. Rhea makes her entrance to send us to break. Back from break, Sheamus cuts a hype promo package to counteract Rusev, literally, as Sheamus claims that Rusev has lost his passion for the game, and because of that, he's just going around bullying younger guys. But a flip switched in the series of matches that they had, and he's lit a fire under him. Then we had a match, Rhea Ripley versus Roxanne Perez. Rhea Ripley won as she hit Riptide, her finishing move, on Roxanne Perez to pick up the win. Post-match, Raquel blindsided Rhea and beat her down. Rhea turned the tide, though. Headbutt, pump handle slam. But this time, Roxy runs interference to get the better of Rhea Ripley as Io Sky arrives to save Rhea. She ducks a boot from Raquel. Shotay connects. Big flapjack for Perez. Rhea recovers and joins in, and they send the Judgment Day girls packing. Backstage, the visionary Seth Rollins glazes Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, as Bronson Reed looks like a rabid dog and Braun looked annoyed. Seth says he was right to pick Bronson Reed and tells him that he's going to destroy Roman Reigns, and tonight Braun Breaker is going to make sure LA Knight doesn't even make it to Paris. Yeah, mocking LA Knight's catchphrase. This is the vision, and it is everything that they dreamed of, and they're on the verge of becoming so much more. AJ Styles makes his entrance to send us to break. Back from commercial break, Rhea Ripley and Io Sky are hanging out backstage. Rhea says so much for going their separate ways, as Io tells her she owed her for last week. Ripley says she doesn't owe her anything, but she's grateful and leaves all smiles. The Kabuki Warriors walk in as Asuka is furious. She berates Io Sky for continuing to associate with Rhea Ripley. Kairi Sane tries to keep the peace. Asuka storms off and Io begs them to trust her, and Kairi Sane walks off saying she's sorry. Then we had a match, AJ Styles versus Finn Balor. AJ Styles won by pinfall after hitting the Styles Clash on Finn Balor. This was a great match, though, between two Hall of Fame talents in AJ Styles and Finn Balor. Although Finn Balor's career has kind of been derailed by the amount of injuries he's had over his career and a bad booking with him, honestly. Backstage, Jey Uso talks to Roman, says he doesn't know what to do, as he's got a lot on his plate, but he's just trying to be World Heavyweight Champion, again as he asks Roman Reigns for advice. Roman says to not trust CM Punk and asks Jey why he's so uptight, like he hasn't been in the game for over 20 years. He tells him to stop trying to help everybody out, as he's helped enough people. The Bloodline, his friends in the locker room, says that Jey Uso needs to start focusing on himself and go out there and smash them all and take the title back home, as it's about capturing moments and locking in a legacy, so just go out there and do you. Jey takes this to heart. They dap each other up as we go to commercial break. Back from break, we get another Bayley promo where she's fighting internally with her two previous personas before her role model persona, Hugger Bayley and Ding Dong Hello Bayley, as she continues her manic state. Backstage, Lara is chatting with Adam Pearce backstage as she is genuinely concerned about Bayley. Adam Pearce said he called her, but he hasn't heard anything official, but he'll keep her posted. Judgment Day then walks in as Dominic Mysterio demands Adam Pearce to do something about AJ Styles. Adam asks what more does he want, as he already gave Finn Balor a match against him. Mysterio states his case, as Adam Pearce reluctantly agrees that he needs to do something and books an Intercontinental Championship match for the Raw after Clash in Paris next Monday between AJ Styles and Dominic Mysterio. Dom then insults him as he is clearly not happy about this. Commentary then hypes up the Clash in Paris match card as Braun Breaker is walking backstage as he is attacked by Roman Reigns, shoving him into a road case. As he leaves them laying, Superman punch on Bronson Reed, and security separates them. Adam Pearce sends Braun back out to the ring after getting attacked as he has a match against LA Knight. LA Knight shows up, beating up Braun Breaker before the match even starts, as he sends Braun into the road case again. They brawl throughout the backstage area, heading into the arena where they have the ring and the people out onto the stage, and we go to break. As it is time for the main event, Braun Breaker versus LA Knight. Back from break, LA Knight is beating the hell out of Braun Breaker to start the match, but Braun is able to recover. But late in the match, Seth interferes. Knight chases after him as he runs into a spear from Braun. He sends him into the ring and hits another spear to pick up the pinfall victory. Post-match, Seth and Braun keep beating Knight down, but Jey Uso comes out and makes a save, laying rights and a big haymaker, along with the super kick to Seth Rollins to lay him out. Braun turns the tide as Division regain control over the situation. CM Punk then arrives, throwing hands with Braun Breaker as he puts him into the steel ring post, where the crowd continues singing his song, even after the music cuts. Seth takes his jacket off, ready for a fight, and they trade punches with reckless abandonment. Seth runs off and claims that he's still the guy around here, as we see a standoff with the four competitors. Punk and Knight bicker, and a shoving match breaks out. After Jey Uso tries to keep the peace, he just says, "Aw, fuck it," as CM Punk shoves LA Knight into Jey Uso. Jey Uso would end up super kicking the both of them, though, as Jey Uso stood tall, while Seth Rollins talked trash from the ramp to end the night. Overall, I thought it was a pretty good show. Not as good as last week, but still pretty good, as that was my recap and review of Monday Night Raw. So until my next recap and review, I will catch y'all later. Deuces.